Participants at a forum organized by the PURC are asking utility companies to reduce inefficiencies if they really want the public to accept their proposed upward adjustment in tariffs. This comes on the back of proposals from the utility entities asking for various increment in their tariffs. Joy News' Raymond Aqua was there and has come through with this report.
The much-anticipated Civil Society PURC Engagement Forum on Utility Tariff came off with leading civil society activists participating to make their thoughts on the proposals known. The proposals from the utility companies have attracted wide public condemnation, with many questioning the quality of service from these utility entities. Leading the charge against the utilities at the forum was ASEP boss Ben Boachi, who asked them to stop investing in projects that will not ensure proper returns.
One, we spent $1.2 billion paying for the under-recoveries in the power sector alone. That is 3 times more than what we spend on social infrastructure, education infrastructure, roads, agriculture, and social protection. I mean, it's not sustainable for us to keep doing that. When are we going to get the roads if we are pumping up such money into the power sector inefficiencies? We buy gas from the gas operators. We infuse the price of the gas in the tariff. But the gas price doesn't come out. And the government have to find money from the budget to go and pay for the gas, because of the inefficiencies that are happening. So the power sector and the energy sector in general has become a very crucial sector for Ghana that we need to resolve as quickly as possible. In 2 years, we had wasted 14 billion Ghana cedis, addressing the power sector problems. And we are not investing that much in roads. We are not investing that much in education. We are not even able to pay free SHS.
But energy analyst Kojopoku believes it's time Ghanaians paid realistic tariffs to sustain the companies.
We talk about losses, technical and commercial losses. For the commercial losses, I always say that management needs to be kicked by the ass to go and collect the money because they employ people who are supposed to collect this money. But for the technical losses, you need investment to reduce it. Most of these machinery was built in the 60s and never been changed. That is why the losses are high, because electricity dissipates when the machine gets old. So you and I understand from the presentation, and that's why this public hearing was very important, for us to know what goes into it. Because yesterday, people were panicking, hey, they're asking for 148. But today, we are leaving here with an understanding that these are some level of necessary evils.
On his part, member of the Civil Society Platform for Oil and Gas, Kwame Jantua, agrees that some increase is warranted, but insists it should be lower than what they are asking for.
We need to go into the depth of it and see that those increases would be used in such an efficient way that 5 years down the line, we are not back here again. For me, that's where the challenge is. If we are asking for certain increases, look, we didn't talk about the automatic adjustment. They said it's now called quarterly review. If that quarterly review had been put in place continuously, it would stave some of the huge amounts that they're asking for in percentages. But what did PURC say? PURC said the board wasn't in place, certain things came in, and so for probably a year that hasn't been done. It comes to hurt the ordinary man.
While a member of the PURC, Ishmael Ejekumhine, is assuring the public their views will be considered before a decision on the tariffs is made.
If we stop to see the utilities as businesses and we treat them as social services, they will ultimately collapse and will be in a situation where they wouldn't even exist. So yes, we will take all views into account, but ultimately the numbers will have to speak for themselves, and the decision would largely be based on a combination of factors which would all be explained in the PURC's final decision. Other
forums will be held in the coming days to help inform the PURC on the next line of action to take with regards to tariff increment. Raymond Aqua's report for Joy News.
All right, so we're still talking about the Electricity Company of Ghana and more. But the Electricity Company of Ghana is asking that there should be a defined threshold for billing consumers such that anyone who consumes more than the lifeline, that's between 0 and 50 kilowatt must be made to pay the entire kilowatt power consumed and making him pay from the 50 kilowatt upwards. Now, the company argues that should only be the preserve of the poor. This was reviewed at the PURC CSO Engagement Forum Wednesday, where the ECG mounted a strong defense of its request for a 148% increase in tariff, demanding full cost recovery. Sylvia Noshi is the General Manager for Regulatory Management at ECG.
Which now everybody in this room is enjoying, including rich and poor ones like ECG staff. So we are saying that the lifeline should be exclusively for those who require it. It should be 0 to 50. So if I can afford my bill and I'm consuming 100 kilowatts, I should not enjoy the 0 to 50. I should be billed straight away with 100 kilowatts. We have sometimes people travel outside, not because they are consuming less than 50, but simply because perhaps there's no one in the house, and the bill that will come is going to be within that. And we say that if the lifeline customers are going to have a tariff for 0 to 50, then all other customers should be made to pay a flat rate. Currently, our non-residential customers do not enjoy the lifeline.
The engagement Wednesday, Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, wants PURC to resume quarterly review of tariffs because the gas landscape is changing. According to them, cost is rising and there's no longer free gas, hence the urgent need for review. Hamis Usif is manager in charge of gas business at GNPC, and he spoke on behalf of the CEO of GNPC.
Amount of time we were only taking free gas and nobody was paying for it. And so the sector became almost accustomed to free gas, but that should have come to an end much longer or much earlier. We have kind of allowed it to linger up to this time. We have, because we have the Jubilee gas still coming in for free. But like I said, that is ending this year, and so any opportunity we have for free gas is not going to be available anymore, and so we should be ready to pay, not only to pay for gas, but to pay for gas at the right price. And our appeal to PURC is to take the full costs and recognize those costs. Of course, where there are excesses, those excesses should be taken out, but the actual costs should be made to stay. And in line with this, therefore, we are requesting that PURC, you've got the program to be reviewing or adjusting your tariffs quarterly, and our request is that this should be adhered to, and then to ensure that all the changes in the course of the year are reflected. We had a rather maybe unpleasant situation where since 2019 there hasn't been any change. So every year prices change. Some of them even change quarterly, but they are not reflected in the current price. So we would request that PURC please take that into account. The last thing to mention is that now the tariff that is determined by PURC, I think, is taking even more significance, because there are other government initiatives that are using that to do all kinds of things, take decisions that affect the entire sector.